Welcome back to Bonded Voices. Today we're going to talk about why happy holidays? What happened to Merry Christmas? Does it matter? Some people get terribly offended one way or the other. It can be an argument. It can be someone saying, oh man, don't take it so seriously. But we wanted to talk about this based on, at the time that we're sitting down to have this cup of coffee, it's right around the holidays. So let's dig in a little bit and see, does happy holidays mean the same thing as Merry Christmas? Or does it matter? I'm Greg.
I'm Ian.
I'm Lauren.
So this topic, of course, is timely, but it really has become more and more of a source of contention, I think, where there is a percentage of the population that says you're terribly offensive if you say Merry Christmas today. And there's another percentage of the population that says you're not truly giving the significance to the season by saying happy holidays. You're washing it down.
So growing up, we always had Christmas break. Now it's holiday break. None of the kids have had a Christmas break. It's always been a holiday break.
Winter break.
Winter break, holiday break.
Yeah.
You know, so there's been a drastic change since I was a kid to what it is now.
Yeah.
You know, people, I think, placate each other. Like, you don't want to be seen as offensive by saying Merry Christmas, so now people are like, okay, happy holidays, instead of saying Merry Christmas.
So you know, I think some people would look at this topic and say, isn't it a bit conspiratorial to think that there's a whole conspiracy out there to change Christmas and nullify it? But at the same time, if they're going as far as changing Christmas break at school to be in winter break and everything, and say, oh, we just don't want to offend the Muslim and the Jewish kids at school, or the atheists or the satanic kids, or those that can't make their mind up.
Don't forget about Festivus.
Right, yeah. But the interesting part for me has been this, and I've always seen it as offensive, mainly because, you know, we're a Christian nation. You have the Christmas season. Now, I walked into a Hanukkah party one day, and someone said to me, Happy Hanukkah, and I said, Happy Holidays. The look on their face was priceless, because they were offended.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because it's a Hanukkah party. And I actually said to them afterwards, I said, Happy Hanukkah, I'm just, you know. And they're like, and I could see on their face, they were like, oh, okay, there's the adverse of that.
Interesting.
Right? And so someone would say, well, Hanukkah and Christmas fall on the same time. Now this year, Hanukkah's on the 10th, because it moves around. Christmas is always on the 25th. And you'll even have a situation where, I remember saying to someone, she was Jewish. I said to her, Happy Christmas. She says, I'm Jewish. I said, well, Hanukkah was a couple of weeks ago. Because it was the 20th, sure, right? Sure. It's Christmas. Yeah. So what? Well, we say Happy Holidays. What are the holidays there?
Yeah.
At that point, right? So now part of me can sort of understand it a little bit when you're around Thanksgiving. Holidays being the Thanksgiving holiday, but then it's really Thanksgiving and Christmas. But, you know, and I think I'm still stuck on the idea of, like, why can't they just be Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year? Then grouping them all together, I think is really, I think it's demeaning to each of them.
I would agree. I think when you say Happy Holidays, it's trying to hide the fact that you're really wanting to say Merry Christmas.
Right.
You're trying not to offend somebody. Because someone somewhere, you know, made a complaint to some government official that we can no longer say, you know, Merry Christmas in a government building or in a school setting. So now we have to use Happy Holidays.
Yeah, and really, you think about it, all of the different holidays, it's a positive blessing. If you said to someone who was Muslim, Merry Christmas, not knowing that they were Muslim, or even if you knew they were, it's not a negative. That's still a positive. It's still, you know, good tidings of the season, or like season's greetings. That's all a positive. It's not like you're giving them the middle finger by doing that.
Sure.
Because, I've been to a lot of different religious ceremonies over the years and to experience them. I'm not offended by being in there and them believing in what they believe in.
Sure.
That's not offensive at all. And actually, I think it's actually offensive in the adverse to actually say to someone that you're not allowed to validate your own religious beliefs.
Sure. I guess that brings the question of is my God different than your God? But
it's belief, so yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I pulled together some information knowing that I was hoping so much that we would be talking about this today. So the Hallmark Company, known for greeting cards, was started in 1915. At that point in time, they used the terms Merry Christmas, Christmas greetings, and Season's greetings. Those were commonplace in 1915. Hallmark didn't add Hanukkah cards until the 1950s.
Right.
And Kwanzaa greetings in the 1990s.
Yeah.
I forgot about Kwanzaa.
Well, I think it was invented in the 90s.
It was.
Yeah.
So is the migration now this went from Merry Christmas, Christmas greetings, and season greetings from 1915 till 1950s. So is this migration an effort to be more conscious of those with different beliefs? Is my God different than your God?
Look, I think business conscious of more different beliefs and selling more Christmas or selling more cards, that's business. Business is amoral. It's God is the mighty dollar, and if they could say Happy Red Day or Happy Blue Day, fine. I don't think it matters. I'd have an issue if they all of a sudden stopped selling Merry Christmas cards.
Sure.
Because they wanted to nullify people sharing that greeting because it was promoting Christmas, which I think ultimately Happy Holidays is. It's like, we don't want you promoting Christmas, just say Happy Holidays. I don't even think it's as much about offense, because people, you hear the term take offense. I don't think you can be offended unless you receive that offense and you internalize it. Mm-hmm. Like, if someone walked up to me in the street and said, "Whew, you're ugly," I'd be like, "Have a nice day." Wouldn't think twice about it. Well, I might think twice about it. I'd be like, "Wow, that's interesting you did that." But it wouldn't bug me, right? It wouldn't stick with me.
Okay.
So I think the idea that someone came up to me and said, "Oh, I thought you were Jewish. Happy Hanukkah," I'd be like, "I'm not, but thank you." Mm-hmm. Again, it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how many, and you do hear a lot from the Jewish community when they hear Merry Christmas. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with a Muslim person that's had the same thing. Although I have had someone who said, "I don't celebrate any of that crap." And they're obviously agnostic or...
We have some family friends that are Jewish, and they'll wish us a Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, all of my Jewish extended family and friends will.
Sure.
I have a Muslim buddy that will, at Christmas time, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's interesting. You kind of wonder, like, is the people that are taking offense, are they really taking offense? Or are they just trying to be the social justice warrior and changing society because they see all religion as a bad thing?
I think that's part of it, but I also think, to when you said, and we talked about in our episode about the Christmas lights, which is the Merry Christmas to them may mean Merry Santa Claus and have no religious connotation. Because remember, I think we live in a society where if you said to people, "Give me a percentage of Christmas being religious and commercial," what would that balance be? I think there's a lot of people would be at least 90 or 80-10 in the commercial versus the religious.
I think you're right.
It'd be interesting, Greg, talking about what you were saying about when Hallmark started and when they first brought in other cards other than Merry Christmas and all that, is to do a survey on, in what town was Jesus born in? To see how many people even know the story.
Sure.
Know that Christmas story. They'd be like, oh, I thought it was Snoopy and the football. Right?
It's the North Pole,
It's
right?
the great pumpkin that rises out of...
Yeah, right, exactly. So I think for them, Merry Christmas, for a lot of them, just means nothing to do with Jesus. It's just all just Christmas presents and...
So, do either of you take offense if you wish them Merry Christmas and they return a terse Happy Holidays?
If it
Yes.
depends on how they say it. If they just say Happy Holidays in a warm way, no big deal. But if they're like Happy Holidays, I'd be like,
It would make me
offense.
wonder. Because as I said, I did it with that Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, and you could just see. And I think people know that if you wish someone Merry Christmas, they're probably Christian. And I think it's fine if they say, hey, I'm not religious. At least I know where I stand with that person at that point in time, and I'm good with that. Again, our episode in like how many friends you have and the circle you surround yourself with.
So I guess that if they come at you more hostile, what are they trying to accomplish?
Well, I think each person obviously they have a different motivation. But for some people, it's to overturn the apple cart. It's, no, this isn't the Christmas season. This is the holiday season. And we need to remove the term Christmas from everything. Or it could be interpreted as, you celebrate Christmas, I celebrate another. I have a different religious belief. And so I'm just letting you know that. Now, that person that says it with anger or some terseness is probably not someone that's just a different religion saying, I honor your statement of Christmas as a Christian, but I have a different religion. I would think it's a different person that's going to get a little snippy.
Yeah, exactly.
They might be trying to remove any religion from it at all.
You know what's interesting in this whole idea of trying to be inclusive, which I think there's a bent there that plays into this. I've been on work calls where they've been celebrating like a Sikh holiday, and they've said happy that particular holiday. I can't remember which one it was, or happy Ramadan. No one in return went, "Oh, you mean happy holidays?"
Yeah.
That would be instantly offensive, right?
We had it
For someone to do that.
2 weeks ago, or I think it was 2 weeks ago. They were ending meetings. Oh, it's Diwali.
Diwali, yes.
And it's
Happy Diwali. I've heard our CEO say that. Happy Diwali.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see if the same CEO would say Merry Christmas at the Christmas time.
Exactly.
And if he or she doesn't, does that mean that are they trying to hide their religion, or are they just trying to placate the squeaky wheel?
Well, it's the tyranny of the minority. That like we don't want to offend the 5 people who don't celebrate Christmas here, so we'll offend everybody else.
Yeah,
But those 5 are not going to be offended by that. And it's interesting how businesses approached it, because like you go on LinkedIn around Christmas time, good luck finding a Merry Christmas thing from people. It'll be 10 to 1 Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays from Home Depot. Happy Holidays from Walmart.
Well, in this cancel culture days, I mean, if you are saying Merry Christmas, that could, especially on LinkedIn, that could hurt your chances of your next job.
Probably. And hopefully there's enough employers out there who would say, I'm going to do the adverse, which is, if all of a sudden you're not you say Happy Holidays, I'm going to hire the guy who says Merry Christmas.
I think we're in this, inclusive HR world where it's to be as vanilla as possible without offending anybody, and don't say anything that's the majority of the people would normally say.
What comes to mind with that statement of everything's vanilla and don't do anything offensive or step outside of the box? It reminds me of that advertisement. Was it Nike that had the advertisement where all the people were just in this? It was like a conveyor belt of people. It was a very dark advertisement in the late 80s. And it was advertising we're different. And so everybody was dressed the same, similar. It was a very gray environment, and that particular company that produced that advertisement was saying, we're different, look at our shoe, it's very colorful, and the people wearing it were wearing colorful outfits, and so that was the differentiator at that point in time. Mm-hmm. But yet now we see this general push to the opposite. Everybody needs to be the same. Don't have a standout voice. You need to be part of the unified voice.
Right.
Yeah. It'd be interesting in Nike, the way they go with that, right? They advertise different, and then don't be different. Right. You have to be, you have to fit in.
So, in the spirit of this, I looked up a couple of words, did some research on this topic. So, let's talk a little bit about specifically Merry Christmas versus Happy Holidays. So, in Old English, Christmas comes from, and I'm going to mispronunciate this, Christes Maes, I believe, or Mass of Christ. And the first usage of this was in 1038.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? So this, of course, described the Mass held to commemorate Christ's birth. As for the term holiday, the word emerged in the 1500s as a replacement for the earlier medieval word holiday, which itself in Old English translates to meaning of holy day.
Right. Yeah.
So even when someone counters you, when you say Merry Christmas and they counter you back with Happy Holidays, they're still acknowledging the holy day.
There's a holy. Hey, that's very interesting. I never knew that.
I wonder if people actually make that connection.
They don't.
I don't think so.
I think they would dismiss it even if they did make the connection.
Well, I didn't mean it like that.
I just think it's a day off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's no work that day.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we're using the term holiday singular. Holidays, when they say happy holidays, and this could be back to personal interpretation of, well, I'm wrapping in Thanksgiving and
New
Christmas
Year
and Hanukkah, all of these different, I'm providing this blanket. But I think for those that are taking offense to, we're removing Christmas from it, the root of the term holiday is holy day.
So,
yeah,
think of all the, I work for, some place that gets bank holidays. And the days we get off, it's Christopher Columbus Day is a holiday. So if you take it back to Holy Day or President's Day as a holy day,
yeah, we're absolutely misusing the term.
Yeah, we've colloquialized it to mean it's just a day
4th
off.
of July is, it's not a holy day. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that we've changed the definition so much and made it not be what it is, the real term.
Right.
Yeah, and again, what's interesting about it is like you saying about Diwali. If you go into Eastern European Christianity, they don't celebrate Christmas until the 7th or 8th of January in Orthodox. So they see it as the Feast of the Epiphany is the big day and it's the reveal. So they don't. So by that point, no one's saying Happy Holidays to them by the 7th of January or the 6th of January, or even by Diwali, right? So, but I think it has been that Christmas became so big in America and in England, and as you got more immigration post Second World War, that all of a sudden you had these people who started to be offended with everything, and we reached a crescendo. Now, my thought is, Greg, when we started talking about this, was, has it peaked? Did it peak a few years ago, pre-COVID, and all of a sudden we're now into a place where people are like, I've had enough. I'm going to put my lights up, I'm going to put my blow-ups up, and I'm going to wish people a Merry Christmas. because I'm a Christian and that's my belief and I'm doing it. And the hell with it if they want to fire me. I'll take them to court for religious discrimination.
Sure.
I don't think it hasn't slowed down.
You think it's still building?
Corporate America is bought into it.
But is it still building? That's the thing.
Yes.
That is a great question.
With all the inclusiveness, the way HR is doing things nowadays, it is not even. You got to think of all the new HR changes that have happened over the last year or two of inclusiveness.
Pronouns and
yes, I'm trying to say it without calling out certain areas, but yeah, there's HR is nowhere. It's not slowing down, and they're getting worse.
Right.
Well, so for someone that say their salary or hourly, they punch a time clock, they're employed by some other organization, not self-employed. When you're working for that organization, there's typically a persona, you need to perform in this environment that meets these characteristics, and that's what this organization values. So it might be a greeter at a grocery store. We want you to say these specific words. We want you to stand here. We want you to have a smile on your face. And so if we take the idea that when we work for someone else, I'm exchanging my time for money. And whatever that employer is asking me to do, am I willing to do that for this rate of exchange? So to Ian's point, is there a growing group of people that, yes, when I'm on the clock, sure, I'll toe the company line. But this year I went out and bought a 40-foot Santa to outdo my 20-foot Santa because I want to broadcast to the world that I am celebrating Christmas. Now, I might not say it at work, but by gosh, by golly, this is how I feel. So is it a solidification of Christmas to that individual?
And think about it, if your employer pulls you up for openly saying Merry Christmas, shouldn't that have been in your employment contract that you agree not to say it going into that you have to say Happy Holidays and you have to be vanilla?
I've been in enough HR training that we have to do annually, and that is definitely
it's in there.
It's in there.
Wow.
Do not say Merry Christmas. Do not say anything about specific religious holidays.
Any religious holidays.
Because you don't know who you're going to offend. Oh. That was the exact thing out of HR.
Or brighten someone's day. I've worked with some great Indian people, and they've taken me through some of their celebrations, and I think it's love it. It's fascinating.
Sure.
And it enriches my life and brought me closer to them with the work we did with them.
So America has been commonly referred to as the Great Melting Pot. And is it a great melting pot by losing all of the history and losing what we believe in to get to this gelatinous vanilla flavor? Or are we the great melting pot because you've enjoyed celebrations with some friends of yours that are of a different history, a different dialect, a different whatever it might be, different religious belief, but you've attended the party, the Hanukkah party.
Yeah.
You've attended those events. You've gathered from that. You've shown respect. Where are we going with this?
I think the melting pot, Greg, is the richness of it. But the melting pot we've got is like pouring all these beautiful colours into the same pot. You stir it around and you just get black. Because that's all you get when you mix all those things together. It's just a big black mud. Mm-hmm. There's no colour to it. There's no richness to it. It's just... And that's what I've always loved in life, is the experiences with different cultures. But you can't argue beliefs because it's a belief. You can chat about it, but you can't argue it.
Right. You're
wrong. You believe that. It's a belief.
Right.
What I want.
Absolutely.
And whether it's via an organized religion or something yourself, but I think it's a situation where it's the richness of life is lost when everything is muddied down. Like, I even love hearing about the different trunks of Christianity, the way they celebrate Christmas, even the ones that don't celebrate it. I think the Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate
they don't celebrate it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I love hearing about all of that stuff.
Well, to take this down a different path, you go to a different restaurant. Hey, would you like to try the chef's special? Well, that's the chef's opinion of something that's going to be tasty today.
But yeah, it's his idea what's special.
So what happens if the restaurant decides, you know what, we're going to serve the same thing as the restaurant next door? We don't want to stand out.
Yeah.
We don't want to be unique. At the expense of what?
Well, so it's an interesting concept. Why have businesses like in the food industry they like to be unique, but corporate America, why has it decided to be this?
Lawsuits. I think ultimately that's what it comes down to. Is there's a million lawyers out there looking to make a buck, and if they can chase a discrimination, something based on religion or whatever, it's an easy picking for them. And most companies will just settle before they even go to court. It's cheaper to settle than hire the attorneys. Well, I think it's time to wrap this one, Greg.
So I hope you enjoyed our conversation, and I hope this sparks some more thought and conversation as you sit there sipping on your cup of coffee. Is it offensive when someone says happy holidays? Did the information that we talked about today change your viewpoint on that? For me, I'm excited to celebrate the season. I wish you all a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. I think it's a wonderful time of year to reflect on many different things. So I wish you all the best. I'm Greg.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Ian.
And that's a wrap. Merry Christmas.